This is Baruch here. We're back at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. I want to take a chance here for those of you who can follow this and understand what's going on. We're learning Kriat Shemah in the Shar Kavanos. So what's going on in the Shar Kavanos is really, if we understood enough Kabbalah and we actually went to pray, this could really help. Because just like any archer or anyone who's trying to reach a goal, the closer you could get to actually zeroing in on where your target is, the better your prayer is going to be. I'm no saint. I just am interested in this. Just like anybody else that's interested in a subject, this is a subject that I'm interested in, and I know that Kriat Shemah has tremendous power, but I don't know how to use it. I'm trying to figure it out. For those of you who would like to understand what is the power or the special significance of Kriat Shemah, those are going to listen along. I'll try to, as much as I can, I'm getting back into the concept of saying the Shiurim again, because it took a really nice break over the Yom Tovim. Try to get into this a little bit more deeply and understand what's happening. The two fundamental areas of davening that we really want to look at are Kriat Shemah, because in the Kriat Shema, we're first bringing in the Mochin HaGadlus. And even though that it's the Mochin of Ima only, the Mochin of Gadlus of Ima only, and it's only the Vok of the Mochin HaGadlus of Ima, you got to know all of these words. So we'll try to teach the words as we go along. I mean, I use them, and I think that what you should be able to do is just try to get used to the sounds. That's like Yisonic approach, but that's what it is. Let's see what happens. He's been talking about the fact that every time you say Kriat Shema, there are 4 times in the day, has a different power. So the question is that what is the power? We never understand it. It's not possible to understand what a blessing is. You know, a lot of times people have all kinds of blessings going on all the time, but they only concentrate on the part that's not working right. And so therefore their whole life becomes involved around that. But the Kodesh Baruch Hu is really being Mashpia Tova to us all the time. But we have our lives, and we have to deal with the vicissitudes of life. This says over here, what we do is we're going to read the words of the ARI Kodesh, Rabbi Isaac Luria had Ashkenaz. He's Ashkenazi. So he said, V'nachsa the Inyan. Let's go back to what we were talking about. That's what we're talking about. About to go to bed, Kriat Shema. Shein lo rad madrega achos levad. There is only one level there. Men ashlosha haniskarim, from the 3 that we mentioned. Now, what were the mentions? The ones that we said? Asheraki. So he's going to say mekifim deima. Needs to pick up the mekifim deima. V'chein ein bo koach lahamshek rak v'hitzonius ta'ava v'deima bilvad kenizker. So all that he needs the mekifim deima. That's what he needs to get, because he's lacking that. I'm not sure that I understood this 100%. So let's say v'chein ein bo koach. So therefore, after he has this, he's very weak. Ein bo koach lahamshek rak v'hitzonius ta'ava v'deima bilvad kenizker. Now he's going over this many times. Let's see what he has to say in the typical Banos on number Kuf Yud Gimel, page Kuf Yud Gimel. Let me see right there. And then we're going to go over to here to number Lamed Tes, which is down at the bottom, and then we get to switch over to the next page. Okay, thank you for coming and learning with me. If I didn't say that before, so let's try to work out the words. He says, Amochin de Katnas Hanistalkim. So the mochas of katas of inside of Zer Anpin that leave, Haim Rak Shlosha Madregos, there are only 3 levels. Kevin Shachatzadi de Katnas de Ima Yesh Lo Tomit. So what are the 3 levels? The 3 levels are the Pinimi and the Makif of Abba and the Makif of Ima. So those 3 levels are gone from Zer Anpin at the time. Now let's say that you are Zer Anpin. They're gone from you, because we are a manifestation of Zer Anpin. The question is that what's happening in Zer Anpin in terms of the flow of the light, the bracha that comes to us, really depends a great deal on what we're doing. Because since we are a manifestation, now what I mean by a manifestation, in the previous shir, we've been talking about vibrations of the real truth of reality are constantly coming, but they get distorted. They get distorted because of the same thing that happened to Adam and Chava, our parents. This is that their taivas took them over. That's a nachash. And from the taivas that took them over, we had to fight against that now. It's inside of us. So therefore we have to be honest about it. We have to be honest. We have to say this is really what's going on. We have to overcome it, and we have to rebuild it, and that's what we're trying to do. Kagon Tzaddik, so the kat is the ima yesh lo tomed, but the tzaddik, so he also, we have to understand the word salam. So I'm going to write it in English. It's salam. But in Hebrew, that's a T-Z-E-L-E-M, salam. Let me get it right. But in Hebrew, it's really a tzaddik, a lamed, and a mem. Salam. Now, the way we understand it is like this. So take it like this, block it. The tzaddik, the salam, goes in to the parts of below it. Let's just say this where the parts of it goes into the parts of below it. The lamed and the mem tzalim, though, they are greater lights, and so therefore they have to shine at the parts of below it from the outside. Both of them. The mem is stronger. Will it be more outside? Like that. That's the concept of the tzalim. So this is the parts of that down below it, and whatever that would mean, and there's a lot more to be said about it, but that's the way that it works. So he says like this. Because he always has to have that. There's no time that it ever leaves. So what leaves then is the lam of the mem, the ima. The lam of the mem that come from the parts of ukatnas of ima. V'atzadi, lamed mem de abba, also those leave the tzadi, and the lamed mem of abba, the whole tzalim of abba leaves. V'nimsa shirak shlosha madregas mehakatnas ein mistalkim. So it comes out like this, that only the three levels of katnas, there are only three levels of katnas that leave. That is the makif de ima, and the benimi, and the makif de abba. Now, when you say the Kriat Shemah, Shalamita, when you say that, what we say, that trigger word, it's either it's a magic trigger. Then the lamed mem de katas the ima, they come back. Nim says, so he says, you say this word, the betevis Yisrael, halamed mem de katas the ima, nim says shekibo rak bedrega achas. Now I don't think I understood that. Besides, I'm going to say it somewhat a different way. Let me see how this works. Let's say, Nimsa, Sharak Shlosha Bedregas Mekatos Aim Mistalkin. These are the ones that leave. Makif de Ima, Upanimi, and Makif de Abba. Now you say the word Kriat Shema Shalamita. So you go to you're at Kriat Shema Shalamita. Kibel Hazab Betevis Yisrael Halamed Mem de Katnas de Ima. Then he receives then the Lamed Mem and the Katnas of Ima. So that you say that magic trigger word, Yisrael, and it triggers all of this stuff to come down. But he gets the lamed and the mem of Ima, which had left. Nimsa shekibo rak medrega acha, so it comes out he only got the level of Ima. Mecha bedregas and nistalkim, that is, of all the levels that leave, he gets a certain amount coming back into him again, but not as much as he might if it was a different time of the day. Now remember, this is a theme that I want to try and work on, is the fact that you have to understand that the world is revolving. Not only is the world revolving, but you're revolving too. You don't really realize this. And when you come to marriage counseling, for example, the way that the woman, the nook aspect of the male-female part revolves is not the same way as the way of the man. So to make those two match up is a real science. If you're married long enough, you're going to figure it out because you get the choice, maybe. So therefore, with this that has come into him, now this is if I'm explaining it well enough to be able to understood. He now has that within, that is Zer Anpin. We're talking about Zer Anpin. You're the acting, that's it. We're the acting representative of Zer Anpin in this world, either for good or for bad, because Zer Anpin has a right arm and a left arm and a middle. If we're good, then the right arm is feeding the middle. And if we're bad, then the left arm takes control. So we have to see what it is to be good and what it is to be bad. And we have a lot of good people around us. That's true. So therefore, with what you have now here, this is where you bring up the Mayim Nukvin. So therefore, you say to Be'echad. Now you have to know that in the Rishash Siddur, he shows you there the four Mises based in. You have to see and think of yourself as being sacrificing yourself along with this Mayim Nukvin. Now he said it just about as well as you could say it. He says that when this takes place and you say the magic words Yisrael, what happens is in the time of the Kriat Shemah Hamita, only the mochin that you're missing from Ima come in, which is the makif, the lamed, and the mem, the makifim of Ima. Now you have to know this a little bit. You have to understand what the Tselem is. We've been through it many, many times. It really refers to just the light that can go in, and the light of the Ein Sof that is too strong to be able to be diminished. So all of this is building and building what? Building vessels that can hold the light of nothingness of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. So b'keven shekocho cholosh ka'ola loman. So since its strength has become weakened, it's bringing up this Mayim Nukvin when we do the Arba Mises based it and we fall on our face. So now you see that it's missing still two madregos from this katnas that we're talking about. So therefore it doesn't have the strength. When you say the magic word echad, Hamochan the God is rock b'chitzonius the Abba ve'ima b'vad only can come from the chitzonius of Abba ve'ima, that's all. Below Malamalam and not from up above them. And this is going to be the lowest level of the light of the Ein Sof, of the glow of the light of the Ein Sof that comes to us. Once again, it's the idea of the springboard. The more that's loaded on the springboard in terms of continence will bring you to the highest place of glow coming from the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Now, what the glow is, I'm not really sure I understand all of that, but it's a secondary light, or it's a light that is coming from a very, very high place, clothed in a high place. Let's see if there's a little bit more on this. We had a number mem, and I think that's it. That is the shir for today. We just learned a little bit about the pathway over there, and I'm trying to get better and explain these things better. This is Baruch Fleischman.